Hey adventure fans, this is Dan Rooker bringing you the story of my 2017 Trans-Labrador Highway motorcycle adventure. My riding partner was Patrick Gibney. We started in Maine and rode through New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Labrador, Quebec, Vermont, and New Hampshire during the month of July. And this is our story.
Weeks.
2 weeks at this rate, it'll probably be 3.
2 weeks and hopefully in one piece.
Oh yeah. You guys will have a safe journey.
Thank you so much.
Oh, so
it's great
nice to meet you.
Your hospitality is great.
So nice to meet you.
Hey Gil, I enjoyed it. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
See you in a couple of weeks, buddy. Drive, yeah.
Take care of my truck. So it is the morning of the 13th, Friday. Is it Friday the 13th? I should know this. No, it's the 14th. That's good. Friday the 14th. And we are leaving Pat's cousin's house. That was Peggy and Gil. And they put us up, fed us, had a wonderful night. Drank a bottle of homemade beer, which was made from hops that Gil grew in the back. He's got hops and chickens, and it was just delightful. But this is the first mile of the motorcycle stretch of our trip. But our destination today is Pat's sister's house, which is somewhere near Bangor. I don't know the exact town. We were going to camp at Lake Sebasticook campground, but Pat's sister would not hear of it. She said it's gone downhill, and she insisted that we stay with her, which is fine. So I'm looking forward to that.
search of Pat. So we are on the 8th deck of 10. Our motorcycles are on the 3rd deck. The ship has 410 people on it. Last night, its capacity is over 700. Let me try to keep this thing pointed straight, that would be good. 410 people on it tonight with a capacity, or I should say last night, with a capacity of 700. You can see it's very nicely appointed. It's also huge. So I'm going down to the 7th floor. The 7th floor is where all the 7th deck is where all the hi there, restaurants and so forth are. So I don't know where Pat is. This is a buffet restaurant. I'm just gonna cruise through here to see if I can see him. Hey Pat.
Did I see those videos where you just want to take the monitor and do it on the wall? That sounds really good.
That's the way it looks today, so far.
Let's do it.
Good morning. I'm just documenting the ship a bit.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Say hi.
Look at you.
You're a star. I'm gonna make you a star.
That's it.
So this is where I had a shiatsu massage this morning, and this is like the lounge area, snack shop, coffee shop. There were a lot of people kind of bunked out on these couches, which I thought was illegal, but there you go. And this is the bar area. They have live music there last night, which is really cool. We had a nice dinner last night. Pat had a nice piece of fish. I had an average piece of steak, but the main thing was I got my vegetables. No. This is like what you'd call the front desk, I guess, if you likened this to a hotel. All right, caution, heavy doors. Raised, all right. Go out for just a minute. Wow. Okay, the temperature is not bad. It must be about 60, maybe a little less. Well, not every deck, but several of the decks have areas that you can walk around. But as you can see, you can't see. It's cloudy and misty. I think the forecast for Newfoundland today is good, so this should burn off, or we should sail through it and get into some sunnier weather hopefully later today. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning here, and we're going to land sometime in the next hour to 2 hours, which is really nice because you get up, have a cup of coffee, walk around, sort your gear, take a shower. This has just been really cool. It's quoted as a 16-hour trip, and we had time for get cleaned up last night, have a beer, walk around the ship, have dinner. Just really good. And both of us slept well too. Some bizarre dreams about seasickness. Fortunately, they were dreams and I wasn't actually seasick. The ride was pretty smooth. I likened it to it's like an airplane ride. Perfect timing. Thank you. Good morning. Thanks.
sailboat, and they come in out here in the Placentia Bay, and they're going to fly to drive to St. John's and fly back to Norway.
My goodness.
So I says to him, I can't get you neither a taxi. And I says to this guy, he's Norwegian, he spoke pretty good English. I said, can you drive? He said, huh? I says, can you drive? You driver's license? Yeah, Norway. You know where airport is too? Yeah, GPS. Yeah, I'll get you a taxi. Where? Right there. I give them the truck. They loaded up the back of the truck with luggage in the back seat, and the man and the woman, young man, young woman, went with him, brought him over to the airport. So I went in the house. She said, where's your truck? I said, give him on the body to go to the airport. She says, you don't even know him. He might take that truck and drive it all the way home. Josephine said, she don't go very good on water, but I don't think she didn't know much about geography. So I had a big laugh at it anyway. You're foolish, you're fools. I said, I got two fishing boats. One was 35, one was 45. I can talk to you guys about feet and inches and yards and miles and that. This stupid system we got here, I don't understand that yet either.
All the metrics.
Centimeters, millimeters.
Centimeters.
very small ferry terminal at St. Barb. We were just getting off the bikes and getting ready for a 2-hour trip across the Gulf of St. Lawrence, and we were completely soaked. This was a tough day because after driving up the Viking Trail and getting on the ferry, we had to get off the ferry, go through about 50 miles of broken tarmac, and then get onto 80 miles of wet and muddy gravel filled with potholes and water. It was truly harrowing for me, and I was so glad to get to the Alexis Hotel after 3 hours on the mud. I'm after a brook trout, but if a salmon jumps on my line, I'm not gonna, complain. Oh boy, he's tiny, but he is gorgeous. Okay. Death by black flies. They are uncountable, vicious. They actually don't. They may bite, but I haven't felt a bite. I've got a few marks on me where they may have bitten me, but they're easily defeated by a head net. I fished all day yesterday with these flies buzzing all around me, just totally protected from them with a head net. So without a head net, they're all over you. So apparently this is Saturday because the lady in the convenience store said it was Saturday, which means I don't know, this must be day 9. I'll count them up later while I'm grinding out these miles. I wanted to give you some GoPro video of the dirt section of the Trans-Labrador. We did 80 miles on Thursday from a place called Red Bay to where we stayed the last 2 nights, which is called Port Hope Simpson. And we are on our way today to Goose Bay / Happy Valley. I guess it's like the Twin Cities. Don't know what the population is, but this is the longest, remotest stretch of the TLH. It's basically 250 miles, of which the first 180 miles is dirt. And by dirt, you can see what I mean. It's an advanced level of dirt, meaning that this is a road. You can see the rock over there on the left side that builds up and supports the road. They've built it in such a way that their ultimate ultimately going to pave it. So this is the base upon which they'll lay pavement. The TLH this section of the TLH didn't exist until a few years ago, maybe 2010, 2011, something like that. And it's pretty smooth. There are sort of lanes in the gravel where the trucks and vehicles have made it sort of bare, and then in between those lanes are the gravel that's been kicked away. And sometimes that's not a problem. Usually it's not a problem. At first it feels weird to cross over it. Your bike goes a little, does a little slip. But over time you learn that's although it's unnerving at first, over time you learn that it's not an indication that you're losing control, and you just kind of become used to it. So we are just getting started on 180 miles of dirt and then 70 miles of bad pavement to get to Goose Bay. I'm just going to be quiet and let you see some of the scenery, how it changes and how it stays the same. There's two things that are dangerous about that. One is the actual surface in there. It looks smooth, but it's soft. And then this seam that gets kicked out, this pile of material gets kicked out, will really mess you up. So this is one of these quarry operations. You can see this is basically red rock, where they carve out all this material. And a totally different kind of rock. You see a lot of granite. That's some kind of sedimentary rock, it looks like. But where they carve out the material and crush it and shape it and distribute it with their trucks.
On day 10, we drove from Happy Valley Goose Bay to Labrador City. I started out the day with my waders on because I was looking for some places to fish along the way. I did find a really pretty section of river just off the road where I could cast and wade easily, and I spent a good 45 minutes to an hour fishing that water. Unfortunately, I did not see a single fish. The weather changed throughout the day. We had dry weather in the morning, then in the middle of the day we ran into some significant showers. It dried out later in the day, and the sun came out and we saw some gorgeous cloud play late in the day. as we approached Labrador City. Because we made such good time the previous day and skipped Churchill Falls, we were able to stay 2 nights in Labrador City, and I was able to get another day of fishing in. We stayed at a hotel called the Two Seasons Hotel, and in a tremendous coincidence, I ran into a guy who goes by the name of Blitzen from the Adventure Rider website out in front of the hotel along with his fellow riders. I spent the better part of our down day fishing again, unfortunately. While the water was beautiful and the day was beautiful, I did not land very many fish at all.
Here we are crossing. Newfoundland and Labrador thank us for visiting. Well, thank you for having us. I'll tell you what, I have never met a group of more friendly people than in Newfoundland and Labrador. And Canadians, as a general statement, are very friendly. But the Newfies and the Labradorians are just so chatty and so interested in where you're from and you know where you're going, and just general chats about the area. Very helpful. I met 2 guys yesterday that helped me find fishing holes, and just all kinds of people. Also, yesterday I met 3 guys that I'm connected with on ADV Rider, which was amazing. The main guy that had connected with me on the forums, his nickname is Blitzen, and I pulled into the hotel yesterday, and there they were. They said, "Hey, aren't you Rookie Rider 61?" And I said, "Yeah, who are you?" And they go, "I'm Blitzen, and he's so-and-so, and he's so-and-so. And we're going the same way you are. We talked on the forums." I'm like, "Get out!" So we, talked with them for 15 minutes or so about where they were headed. They're actually ahead of us, and we might catch up with them today or tomorrow. We might not. It's like any trek where you run into people at certain campsites or certain lakes, or you pass them along the trail and you chat with them. For example, Greg and Diana, who are riding together on a big red Honda rig pulling a trailer, were at our hotel last night, and we talked to Greg this morning again. So we've seen them in multiple locations because we're going the same way along the trail, which is really cool. This road includes another about 100 miles of unpaved surface, and some of the comments in the forums suggest that this road 389 is the worst part of this trip. Technically it's not part of the Trans-Labrador Highway because we're not in Labrador anymore, but it's definitely part of the adventure trip that everybody, for us this is the last leg of about 350 miles. But I hope it makes a big noise. Oh, there you go. So this dirt is just a complete departure from the dirt on the Trans-Labrador Highway, and the surface is different. There's more gravel on this surface, but the main thing is that there's turns. It's a twisty road, and it's a hilly and twisty road, so you've got a lot of blind curves, very frequent blind curves. Look at that. Blind hills. It's a dipsy-do. Accomplished off-road riders would love this much more than the TLH, where The TLH you can see, you know, you can often see 2 miles ahead. I mean, the straightaways are extremely long and frequent, and then the turns are gentle and kind of sweeping. Whereas here, the turns are abrupt, you know, sharp angles, and almost all the turns are full of this loose gravel. So I'm going real carefully through this, and you can see the ruts in the gravel too. Those are things that make you slide, things that make your wheels slide when you move over those ruts in the gravel. This is a totally different off-road experience or unpaved experience than TLH.
Mr. Breeze.
Wind noise. I'm going to be going really slow. Of this, I can assure you. That's second gear. We are very, very near the end of this epic 70-mile dirt, sand, rock, gravel. I mean, it has been a multi-material, and you can just see here how thick the junk is that's on this road. Junk, I mean crushed. A lot of crushed rock, crushed into these, or organized into these little furrows. Probably going on a little bit too much about that. So anyway, let's just look at this scenery here. This is all industrial. You can see now you got pavement with loose gravel on top of it, which is super treacherous. Oh, look at this. when you get down to the bottom here, you can't even take a picture of it really, because you get so close to it that you can't get the whole. First gear. I don't probably need to be in first. Manicouagan River. Wow, look at that water. It is gorgeous. And there's the dam again. Okay, getting our first views of the St. Lawrence Seaway. My gosh, it is, look how far across it is. Absolutely gorgeous day. It's going to be 75, 78, something like that today. Today, which is Wednesday.
winter long. On Sundays I look the eyes of the line that far outside the wire where my white-haired uncle waits. Jump to the ground as a turbo slows to cross the borderline. We'll run like the wind as excitement shivers up and down my spine. But nothing is born. My uncle preserved for me an old machine. Oh, the audience could keep it as new has been his dearest dream.
So this is a Friday morning, and we have trimmed a day off of our itinerary. We spent last night with Gil and Peggy and had a fantastic steak supper, and then went out and met Peggy's sister too, who's a school teacher here locally. And we've been up since 5:30 talking and having coffee, and been working on loading the bikes up for our 15-hour trip back home. Pat's still strapping things down. We figured we went 3,700 or 3,800 miles on the trip. That doesn't count the drive up and back. So yesterday we drove about 430 miles to get here and wrap things up. Beautiful drive through the White Mountain National Forest, and a famous motorcycle drive about 35 miles long called the Nakawaka or something like that. I'll dub in what the correct words are. Oh, the opposite.